Arthur is tired of his cramped apartment and the daily grind of his 9-to-5 life. He wants to feel like he has finally made it, so he decides to move his entire savings into the most stable asset on Earth, magic. Arthur has just purchased a 5-day park hopper pass for his family. He believes he is buying a vacation. Arthur is wrong. Arthur has just become a temporary tenant in a sovereign city-state that uses cartoon mice to enforce its borders. Arthur pulls into the parking lot. He pays $35 just to let his car sit on a piece of asphalt. He has not even seen a castle yet, and he is already down the cost of a week's worth of groceries. This is the first breadcrumb. This company does not just sell tickets. They own the dirt. In the 1960s, the company used shell companies with names like Tomahawk Properties to secretly buy 30,000 acres of Central Florida swampland. They did not just buy a plot for a park. They bought enough land to create their own administrative district. This gave them the power of a local government. They can issue bonds. They can write their own building codes. They could theoretically build a nuclear power plant next to a roller coaster if they really wanted to. Arthur enters the park. He is immediately hit by the smell of vanilla and popcorn. He does not know that the park uses Smellitizers to pump artificial scents into the streets to trigger nostalgic hunger. Arthur is now hungry. He goes to buy a churro. It costs $7. Arthur realizes that in this city-state, the inflation rate is roughly 400% higher than the outside world. But Arthur is smart. He wants to beat the lines. He opens the app to buy a digital pass that lets him skip the wait. This is the second secret of the kingdom. They used to give these passes away for free. Now they charge you for the privilege of not standing in a line you already paid to enter. This is a classic yield management strategy. They are turning time into a commodity. By charging for the fast lane, they can ensure that the whales, the people willing to spend the most, have a better experience than the minnows. Arthur is now a minnow in a high-speed lane. As he walks, he notices something. Every single ride ends in a gift shop. There is no escape. To exit a haunted house, you must pass through a room full of glow-in-the-dark plastic tombstones. This is high-density retail. This is not a movie studio that happens to have a park. This is a real estate developer that uses movies as commercials for its land. Here is the third secret that Arthur is about to discover. The parks are actually the loss leaders for the real prize. The hotels. The company knows that if you are in the park until midnight, you are too tired to drive home. You will stay at one of their themed resorts. These hotels are built on that cheap swampland they bought decades ago. The margins on a $500 a night room that cost almost nothing to acquire are astronomical. Arthur is now sitting on a bench at midnight. His feet are blistering. His children are crying. He has spent $3,000 in 48 hours. He looks up at the fireworks and realizes the genius of the play. They have created a closed-loop economy. You fly on their bus from the airport. You stay in their room. You eat their food. You use their digital wristband to pay, which detaches the feeling of spending real money from the act of buying. The loop closes when Arthur gets home. He is exhausted. He is broke. But then he sees a commercial for a new animated movie. He feels a warm tingle of nostalgia. He forgets the $7 churros. He forgets the blistering feet. He only remembers the magic. He starts looking at ticket prices for next year. The core lesson? This is not a fairy tale. It is an emotional attachment to a piece of real estate that is controlled with the efficiency of a casino and the authority of a governor. Arthur is not a guest. He is a source of rent.